Beanie Ball Talk.
Come take a seat.
Hey guys, welcome back to Beanie Ball Talk. Oh shit. I want to address the fan base before we get started. Last week it may have appeared that I was I appeared different or under the influence, and I just want to put out there that everything that was in my system was legal in the state of Missouri, so I don't want to hear any shit from the fans, okay? And I also went 10-4 on my picks, so you can all fuck off. All right, now we got that out of the way. We do not have Scott today, but he sent in his picks, so it's just the B show today. B ball talk. All right. We'll get started with our recap of Week 10. We start with, shnikes. Let me get my stuff straightened up. Here we go. All right. Shaking the dust off. All right. Ravens, Bengals. Ravens end up winning 35-34. Bengals go for 2 at the end of the game and don't get it. Heartbreaking loss for the Bengals. You got to respect them for going for the win, but did not work out for them. Ravens get a huge divisional win, and the Bengals keep sinking. Joe Burrow and Jamar went nuts in this game. Jamar had the best week of any receiver all season, so that was cool. But it just wasn't enough. The Bengals defense is terrible.
Yeah, the Bengals, their offense is sick, but yeah, no defense, and you're not going to win without a defense. I agree with the decision to go for 2. It was the right move because their defense would have just got cooked. And, Joe Burrow got penalized on that play, and there was holding, and they just didn't call it. But, I mean, that's NFL officiating for you. But I don't feel sorry for them.
Nope.
Jamar's number 1. Love him. But Joey B's sick. I mean, how do you not like Burrow? Like, even as a Chiefs fan, I still like Burrow. Like, he's just a G. Sucks that they have no defense, but, like, Lamar is going to win MVP unless something crazy happens. Like, he's having an unreal year. Every time he gets the ball in his hands, you just know they're going to score.
Both defenses in this game were bad, too. The Ravens' defense is really bad.
They're sus this year, dude.
After seeing what Jameis did to that defense, and then like the next week against I don't even know who the Browns played, but he just came back down to earth through like 3. Oh, maybe it was the Chargers, I think. But it's just like you see that that disparity. Like Ravens defense is a serious problem too. So we'll get more into that down the road. We go over to Germany. The Panthers get a win against the Giants, 20-17. Daniel Jones is bad, and Bryce Young, man, he's playing way better. Like even though like he's not playing crazy good football, but like he's taking care of the football. And I don't know. I'm just really happy for Bryce. You guys all know I have a soft spot for Bryce, so
Yeah,
I'm happy to see him winning.
His stat line isn't impressive, but it doesn't really tell the story because he was safe with the football. He made good reads. He was smart. And, he didn't have to throw too much because Chuba was running wild over that Giants defense.
Put it to you this way. I'd rather have Bryce Young than Daniel Jones.
Well, on the contract that he's on, absolutely.
I
would prefer to not have either of them if that would be the case. Like, I don't feel that bad for Bryce Young. He's a number 1 overall pick and has $50 million in the bank over the next 4 years. Like, how bad can you really feel? Sucks that he's in a shitty situation, but like that happens to number 1 picks all the time.
Yeah, but what doesn't usually happen to I don't know if it's ever happened to the first overall pick is moving on from him in year 2. Like this is just
Marcus
proving
Russell.
that I just feel like this is them proving how stupid they are for moving from him so early. Like they should have just let him play this whole season and just figure shit out.
I don't know, man. I think it was actually good for him to take a step back for a little bit.
No, yeah, I agree, Steve. It was definitely good for him, but it's just like he's obviously a better option. So, all right. Patriots beat the Bears 19-3, and the Bears haven't scored a touchdown in 2 games. Caleb Williams is really struggling. He was sacked 9 times in this game. This was just, the Patriots feasted on defense, and their defense hasn't been known as a crazy good one this year. So the Bears are just crumbling. They had such a hot start. They were 4-2, and they look like they're definitely dead and not going to be in the playoffs. But they're gonna win enough games to really screw up a draft pick. So it sucks to be a Bears fan after the hype they had going into the season.
Yeah, I mean, they probably need a clean house and then just get an all new offensive line. I mean, they got plenty of good skill players. So, I mean, what good are skill players if you don't have a line to protect your quarterback to be able to get it to the skill players? So, I mean, they need to take a step back and look how successful teams have done it by building your offensive line, building up the trenches, and then getting the skills guys, or not even having the skills guys, just having a beast offensive line and having a quarterback that can dish it.
Ryan Pace doesn't get enough shit, or Ryan Poles, sorry. He doesn't get enough shit because everyone praised him for his offseason, his free agency, his draft. Like, yeah, that's great. But, like, the fact that he kept that head coach in place and did not change anything, to me, washes all of that out. And you're seeing that play out right now.
Yeah, the
That
fact
could
that
be ownership, though.
it
Like,
could be, but the fact that they stuck with Eberflus is so idiotic. Because I was gonna say, dude, they could have actually turned their franchise around if they would have just paid Harbaugh whatever he wanted, which they could have if they would have just fired Eberflus. Because if you look at what's happening in LA, Harbaugh is building that team through the trenches, and they're already going to be a playoff team in year one. Harbaugh is doing a phenomenal job. We knew he would, but like just seeing what they could have had and then what's going on right now, you just got to be in pure misery if you're the Bears because, like, everyone thought that Eberflus should have been fired after last season, and then they just stuck with him. And now, like, you're having this super hyped up season where it's super disappointing. Like that, yeah. Whoever makes that call fucked everything up.
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah, I will say this though, they're gonna have probably a top for sure top 10, arguably top 5 pick next year, and that head coach is gone. The Bears become the most attractive job on the market as it stands right now.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, they're gonna get a good head coach next year if they don't royally fuck it up. Like you have so many guys out there right now that decided to sit out a year. Plus, who knows upcoming like OCs and DCs? Like they'll have their pick of the litter, especially because they have Caleb Williams and all of those weapons around him.
I just keep hearing that they're going to pay Ben Johnson, the OC for the Lions, like a shitload of money and just get him there. Which
They need
I
they
mean,
need offense.
his
Throw it.
his offensive play calling is amazing. I mean, watching the Lions is as fun as it gets right now. So if you could inject that into the city of Chicago, I'm sure they would love that shit.
you think there's any world where Belichick goes there?
No, not Chicago. I could see Belichick going to other places, not there. All right, next game. The 49ers beat the Bucks 23-20. Christian McCaffrey made his return. Didn't go too nuts. This one went to overtime, this one did not go to overtime. It almost did, because Jake Moody missed a bunch of kicks in this one. It wouldn't have been as close if he would have made a couple of those. But dude, the Bucks keep fighting. Baker keeps fighting. So respect to him. And like they were in this game. This was a tough NFC bout, but the Bucks just keep losing, man, and that's not good for their playoff hopes.
The Bucks are so much better than their record shows, and also Baker was the real star of this game. I mean, he just put on an absolute show with no blocking and no, receivers. His numbers weren't like insane, but it's like every time you saw him, he was just fighting off like multiple sacks into getting the ball out. I mean,
He made
especially
plays when they needed to be made, and then the defense kind of just because it was a tie game and it was tight at the end, and Baker was making the plays, but I think the Bucks defense just kind of let him down a little bit in the end.
They needed this bye week.
Yeah.
Coming. Get healthy.
Yeah. All right. Next game. Chiefs beat the Broncos 16-14, and it was the block heard around the world. Ugly game. We all knew it was gonna be. Chiefs offense should have definitely cashed in the red zone more. Kelsey was wide open for one that Mahomes missed, and that would have been the story of this game had that kick go in. But man, everyone seems to be praising the Chiefs on this one, even though it was a block. Like,
Hey guys, I'll be back after the recap. Audrey just puked everywhere.
Sick.
I'll be back.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. All right. Steve, what'd you think of that block, though?
What block?
What do you mean, what block?
Jeez.
Oh, the Chiefs block. That was sick. Hold on. How do I exit out of this thing? Fuck me. All right. I'll be back.
Okay.
Anyways, I loved the block. It was disgusting. And I'm a biased Chiefs fan. We all are. You just knew something weird was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to be in our favor.
We were
Obviously,
all
the odds are
standing
there
up
against us.
like watching
But
intense.
this is the Chiefs, and this is like I love all the memes going around about how the refs blocked the field goal. It's like every excuse you throw at the Chiefs, like that you overcome it and you win a good gritty type of game against an interdivision rival. No help from the refs, like at all. Like we won that game. It was gritty, but it was a dub, and we're 9-0 going into the next week. Like sometimes magic has to happen in a magic season. Like that's just what it is.
great dude. Great teams are lucky.
Yeah.
We've seen it. Great teams have to have luck, but I mean, also Pat McAfee did a great job breaking it down. I don't know if you saw it, but like they clearly saw in film that this guy was just getting blown up and couldn't block, and they saved that play and got ready. And what's crazy is like they lined up on the right hash, and if they line up on the left hash, it's a wrap. They probably make the field goal, but they line up on the right hash, and that's where the luck is. But there was the work that was put in that they probably did film study. I mean, these are fucking professionals, dude. They watch everything. So like, hats off to Dave Tobe and the special teams because that was huge, and
We
they
had
didn't have the
three
best game.
guys. We had three guys that could have blocked that kick.
Yeah,
That's
like
just so wild.
they clearly saw something, and
My
that's what
favorite
was
part
cool.
is right after the kick was blocked, Sean Payton with his sunglasses on, just walking stone faced, shook Andy
Dude,
Reid and just walked out.
the
You
Denver
gotta love it.
sideline, I saw a shot of the Denver sideline, and they're all just like no movement. They were all just like stunned, and it was just like, damn, man, they probably hate us so fucking much.
Yeah.
And that's also, before we move on, Bo Nix played a great game, man. Bo Nix is a good quarterback, man. I would definitely put him in the top half of the league right now. Like he does enough to win them games, and he damn near knocked off the Chiefs. So
I think we got. I mean, I can't remember who this was on our group, if it's just Scott or if it was Steve or what, but I do know that Sean Payton gets a lot of shit from this podcast, but like he is known as a QB guru. Everyone was like, well, you just fell into Drew Brees' lap, but like taking a rookie quarterback that was kind of an afterthought in the draft, mid-tier first round pick. It's not like he was a top 5 pick or anything. And
no.
turning him into not only just a starter, but somebody that's fighting for a playoff spot with a historically shitty team over the last 10 years. Like you got to throw Sean Payton some props because some of that success goes to him.
Yeah, yeah. Also, Scott's the big Bo Nix hater on this podcast. I
Okay,
guarantee
I
you,
couldn't remember who it
I
was.
can't. I guarantee you, he would sit here and be like, still not good after that performance. Like, but
We'll see.
I'm rooting for him, even though he's a division rival. I like Bo Nix. All right, next game we got the Bills beating the Colts 30-20. The Colts were like in this game, and they just couldn't. They just couldn't do it, you know. So the Bills stayed them off and end up getting the win. The big news out of this one is that Anthony Richardson will be starting this week. Flacco is done, so we'll see how it goes. The Colts season is just falling apart, like I thought it always would. But yeah, I mean, if you're a Colts fan, your only hope now is that Anthony Richardson comes back and like does good.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be bummed out about with the Colts because I think there was optimism going into this year. And if you look, Michael Pittman was thought of to be the guy that could maybe take that number one wide receiver threat, like step up this year. And he's battled injuries all year. I get it, but like he just hasn't been able to take that next step. Josh Downs was a nice find. He's been playing well, but like Jonathan Taylor's paid as a number one overall back in the league. Hasn't really happened much. I know he's had a couple good games. And then your third overall pick from a couple of years ago had to sit out for being tired. Like it's just kind of a really sad season for the Colts, but like there's still plenty of time left to at least salvage the season.
Do you think Steichen will get fired?
No.
Dude, I didn't think so either, but I feel like if Anthony Richardson like plays bad and their season really does tank, I could see them firing him.
I think
And
the
I don't know if
only
that's the right thing or not.
I think it depends because if this coaching market in the offseason is what it's looking like it's going to be, which is like 5 to 6 guys that should be a head coach right now, like do you not give him another year and say I got to go get a good guy that's proven right now because I don't know who's going to be here next year? Like
Exactly. I think a lot of teams
that's
are going to be in that spot, dude.
but if there's a lot of teams though, maybe
Yeah,
they don't end. Like, is Indy a destination? Like
I
like
know.
that's the problem. Like,
It's very interesting. Like the coaching carousel this offseason is going to be or well,
because
not
you got New
offseason. I guess it'll be
Orleans,
pretty.
you've got New Orleans, you've got who else just got fired? You have 2 head coaches that were just fired. You have New
Um,
Orleans, you have oh my gosh, why am I blanking right now?
Jets,
Jets. Yeah, so you got Jets,
Jets,
which
New
will be a
Orleans.
destination. New
You'll
Orleans is
probably
probably a
here's
destination.
what it'll probably be: Jets, New Orleans, probably the Raiders,
Chicago.
probably Jacksonville, probably Chicago. Um, oh, probably the Cowboys.
But see, here's the thing. You
Like
just named out of those
that's
six
16. That's
teams,
6 teams, and those are all big teams. Like I feel like.
every single one of those, with the exception of Jacksonville, is a destination. And I would
Well,
argue
yeah,
that T Law is more attractive than Anthony Richardson, right? As
right,
it stands
right.
right now. I don't know. We can move on, but I just think it'll be interesting. And he may sit tight and they may give him another year just because they don't have the coaching prospects out there because all these other big teams are going to get him.
It's just interesting because like they got Anthony Richardson to match his style and they just don't look like they've gelled. So it's just interesting. All right, next game. This was a great game, lived up the hype. The Steelers beat the Commanders 28-27. This one came down to the wire. The Steelers got a big touchdown with their new addition in Mike Williams from the Jets. He scores the game winner. This was a really good game. Jaden Daniels didn't have his best game, and Russ did. Russ played good, man. Russ is cooking. Russ is undefeated, man. It's Rusty season, and I'm feeling
It's
dangerous. I love the way the Steelers are playing football right now.
Did you see Mike Williams throw shade after the game at Aaron Rodgers? So,
No.
do you remember when Aaron Rodgers, Mike Williams fell and ran the wrong
Yeah, he
route?
he
And
he threw him under the bus.
A. Rod was like, he's supposed to follow the red line or whatever. Well, Mike Williams, after the game, he just sent a tweet like that had the touchdown celly and it just said hashtag red line on it, which I thought was dope. But I saw a stat. This is wild. You probably saw it circulating on Twitter. The Steelers in franchise history have never been a double digit dog ever. And the Jaguars have been a double digit dog like 10 times in the last like 5 years or so. It's just funny, but it just shows you like what Mike Tomlin does, man. Like Mike
Dude, that's
Tomlin is just real.
crazy that they've never been a double digit dog. That is crazy. I did not see that stat. That's insane.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Jaguars, we can move on to the next one. The Vikings beat the Jaguars 12-7 in a very ugly game, but a huge win for them. If they lost this game, things could start to unravel. So they got the job done, but it was very ugly. And the Jags, man, this was no T-Law, Mac Jones Jags. So this was just a bad football team. The Vikings were lucky to get out with a win because they played like shit, but they had to take care of business, and they did. I have nothing really left about that game. Then the Saints shocked the Falcons 20-17. This could be big for Tampa, but nothing matters if Tampa's not winning games. But Saints with Rizzy, the interim coach, they got the interim bump, man. I always take the interim bump, and I didn't hear because I thought the Saints are so bad, but fuck, man, the interim bump is real. And Falcons missed a lot of field goals. Younghoe Koo was bad. I don't know did he miss 3 or 5? I can't even
One
remember.
of
He
them
missed a lot.
he had one block that was like a 28-yard field goal, I remember. And then he just missed, I think, 2 and got 1 blocked.
Okay.
It was a really, really bad game. But the coaching bump helped, but more importantly, it was the MVS bump.
Yeah, dude.
Signing
MVS went
MVS and
off.
just going off.
MVS went off, and it makes you think it's like, damn, maybe we should, maybe the
No,
trade.
no. Just
I'm
shows you
just
where the
kidding.
Saints wide receiver depth is. And Derek Carr, to his
True.
credit, throws the bomb anytime.
Yeah,
Anytime he
he's
can,
not
he's chucking
scared
it.
to launch, dude. He does throw the deep ball a lot.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah, no, it's the Derek Carr difference. It's either a bomb touchdown or an awful pick.
Yeah.
All right, next game, the Chargers beat the Titans 27-17, and the Chargers are rolling, man. They look good. They're playing good team football, complementary football, and their defense still has not allowed a team to score more than 20 points all season. Their defense is very impressive. Again, just back to what we talked about earlier, Harbaugh is building that team from the trenches, and they're already a playoff team, man. Good for them. I mean, I would pencil the Chargers in the playoffs at this point. They look like, unless Herbert went down, they're a playoff team. So, good for
What's their
them and good
schedule
for
like the rest of the
Harbaugh.
year?
But they have so that's what me and Scott have been talking about all season about the Chargers. They had a last place schedule, like they had a bad schedule or easy schedule set up for them.
Yeah.
So like that's a big beneficiary. We'll see how they do next year when they have a tougher schedule. But right now, man, they look like they can roll with just about anybody. So
Yeah.
props to them. Next game, the Cardinals absolutely shit pumped the Jets 31-6. Jets season is officially over. I mean, mathematically they're not eliminated, but they are. And the Cardinals, man, this was awesome to see them finally like step on someone's throat and really give it to him, because I feel like the Cardinals, they've been pretty good this year, but like they still felt like you couldn't trust them. This was one of those games where they took care of business and their defense was good. I mean, you held the Jets to 6 points. I mean, the Jets aren't crazy good, but that's still an impressive stat, you know.
I think um I think it just shows that like the Jets that keep doing this like once every decade experiment of taking a 40-plus-year-old has been quarterback and assuming they're going to play at an MVP level, like it's just not real. Aaron Rodgers is not like a bad quarterback, don't get me wrong, but like expecting him to go put up 30 points a game, which right now is what they need to win, is just not real. They brought Devontae Adams, they have Garrett Wilson, they have Brees Hall. Like, they're not getting it done. So it's like, when do they learn to go not draft a new quarterback, because they can't do that either? It's like, you need to go sign one of these 30-year-old free agents and pay them $50 million and have them for the next 5 years. And that is probably the only Jets' hope at doing anything.
Yeah, like Kirk Cousins, in hindsight, they should have went after instead of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, seriously. But like, I don't know where the Jets go. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers would give it another year. I think he might be done after this
Yeah,
year.
that's what I'm curious, because I really don't have a pin on it. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be shocked either way. If he retired,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked. And if he plays next year, I wouldn't be shocked. I personally think he should retire because he just looks like shit.
I
So,
just don't think the Jets, their chemistry will rebound as long as he's at quarterback. I just think like something's off. It's like he's making a fat paycheck, and who knows if he even really wants to be there at this point. So I don't know. I think you
I
need to get a
forgot they
dog in
paid
there.
him. I forgot they paid him a lot of money, too.
Yeah,
It wasn't just like, come
yeah.
here for a discount. All right, next game. The Eagles beat the Cowboys 34-6. Another shit pumping. Yeah, this was actually, before we get it too deep, everyone was complaining about like the noon slate had all the good games and it was like fun, and then the late slate was just shit pumping, so that sucked. But yeah, Eagles beat the shit out of the Cowboys. The Cowboys are a bad team. Micah Parsons comes out and says like, the hell with Mike McCarthy, essentially, and I don't blame him. Like, Mike McCarthy
You
should
can't
be
do
fired.
that.
No, no, you can't do it. But like where he was coming from made sense. Like, he was saying he feels bad for the veterans in the room for having such a bad season. But like, dude, I mean, this is all because of Jerry Jones and how he's constructed the team. And it sucks that Mike McCarthy's going to get fired for it. Do I think Mike McCarthy's a great coach? Not really, but he has won a Super Bowl, so he can do it. But it's been a long time. I think he's run his course in Dallas, and it'll be very interesting to see who they hire
I
because they
just
have a
don't.
lot of work to do.
I just don't. I don't know. I think Micah Parsons is like extremely talented, and I'm a fan of his. But like, I would have liked to see. I didn't see him pointing the finger at himself in any way, and for him to come out and just like throw the coach under the bus. I get the point of like I feel bad for the veterans, but like he could have said I haven't played that well at all and I feel bad for the veterans cuz I'm not playing up to par. But it's like to throw your head coach under the bus, like that just tells me that things are really bad, and if your best player on defense is doing that, like I don't know, I just think that's a really shitty culture right now there.
Well, and it's like that's the head coach. Like that's, and I know that Mike McCarthy's like an offensive guy, but the head coach should still demand enough respect to where players aren't saying that shit. So, like, yes, Micah's out of pocket, but also, um, like if you're a good coach, no one's saying that shit.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Next game, the Sunday night game was insane. The Lions win 26-23. They came back to win despite Jared Goff throwing 5 interceptions. They still won the game, and that's what makes the Lions so scary. 5 interceptions, and the Texans couldn't get it done. Lions are
Steve's not
terrifying.
on right now.
Huh?
Because I really want to be like, Steve, say something mean about Jared Goff. I
Yeah,
really wanted
yeah.
him to be on for this right now,
It's
and he's not here.
it's a damn shame that he's not here to say that. So, yeah, the Lions are like, even when Goff throws 5 picks, they win. So, and then again, who beat them this year? Because they only have 1 loss.
Wasn't it like in the beginning of
It was
the
early.
season? Have they played the
dude.
Packers yet?
Yeah, they beat the Packers in Lambeau, I think.
Vikings?
I don't
I don't
think it was
remember.
them. I can't even remember who it
I know,
was,
but
but
Kev, this is Jared Goff just got to the Nathan Peterman level of being a quarterback.
dude, and like, so I was watching it when all these picks, because the crazy part was it wasn't just Goff. Like, the Texans were turning the ball over too. Like, there was
Oh yeah,
bad
that was
picks,
such a
bad
shitty like
fumbles.
pass.
Like, it was at one point where like Jared Goff threw a pick, and then literally the next play, CJ threw a pick. It was insane.
Yeah.
It was like, holy fuck. So like, it was a hectic game, despite the stats being like definitely slanted against the Lions. It was just one of those momentum games, man. And it's like the Texans were up early, and they blew it, man. Something to watch for the Texans. That's why I'm confident for the Chiefs if we play against them in the playoffs. All right. Next game, Dolphins beat the Rams 23-15, and the Dolphins, with Tua back, they're a little more healthy overall. They finally looked good, and their defense showed up and stopped the Rams offense from exploding, really. So it's just a shame that the Dolphins have dug such a deep hole, or else they could be a possible playoff team, but with their current roster. But I think their hole was too deep that they've dug. But you never know. Some teams can go on magical runs.
Dude, correct me if I'm wrong, but this game also had like 4 turnovers in like
Yep.
4 minutes.
It was. I was
Sunday
watching
night game, I
it.
was like, I've never seen this before, and then the next
Literally,
day it happened.
dude. I literally said the same thing. I was watching it. Bailey had just got home from doing something, and like the game was going on. I go, this is crazy. We had Sunday night where there's all those turnovers, and then it's happening again tonight. It was so nuts.
Dude, and can
But
we
yeah,
talk about that dog Tua just head first trying to tackle a guy on an interception?
I love that. He's fearless.
I know, but it's like, dude, you shouldn't have to watch an NFL game and be like cringing every time he like gets hit. It's like, dude, just retire. You've made your money. Like, just retire, man. Live till you're at least 60 years old, because that's about as long as he's gonna go at this point. His head has to have the trauma of like a 90-year-old man, dude. I'm telling you.
He's definitely got CTE, but like.
Bro, my
I
son
just
just
think
walked into the wall yesterday and has a goose egg on his head. If Tua did that, he'd be like going like this on the ground. Like he has such bad impact now, dude, where it's like even the smallest of hits is going to make him lose it.
it's just weird because like we've seen players retire due to concussion reasons like before, but never a quarterback.
Yeah.
Like we've never really seen a quarterback because the quarterbacks are so protected now. Like it's not like back in the day.
Dude,
Um,
I'm a Mike McDaniels guy. You guys all know that, but like I'm curious if he's on the hot seat.
well, I mean, if he strings some wins together at the end of the season, I think he saves his job because that's really what they're playing for down the stretch is for his job because, like, I would have said fire him 2-3 weeks ago, but now like you got Tua back. Tyreek's getting a little more healthy. Oh my gosh, did you hear what Tyreek was saying about his wrist? Oh my gosh. Before the game, he was like interviewed and said, I injured my wrist when I was being arrested and I was handcuffed. They injured my wrist. He is the biggest pussy bitch I've ever heard. I'm so glad he is not a Chief anymore because he's just still playing the victim card when everyone's seen the body cam footage. Like, he was an idiot and he was wrong.
There's two types of wide receivers in the NFL. You have Tyreek Hill and you have Antonio Brown. I'm taking AB right now, bro. That guy. I'm not saying about
Steelers
like playing the
AB,
game.
maybe.
I'm not saying the game of football, but I'm saying like the antics off the field. Like AB was always like that too, but the difference is like AB was just funny about it. I don't know, man. Tyreek Hill is obviously way better than AB, but like I'm just kind of sick of all the Tyreek Hill bullshit. It's like the Dolphins aren't in the spotlight, so he's got to make sure he's in the spotlight.
Yes, actually,
Now, if
yes.
he rips his shirt off and leaves at halftime, then he's back in the glory of where AB is, bro.
I could see him doing that, but no, you're 100% right. It's all about the spotlight for him, and like he's not on the championship Chiefs, and he's not on.
Jelly.
He's
jelly.
not. Oh yeah, he's not on the undefeated Chiefs right now. He's not making history, and like no human being could go through that and not be fucking jealous and
He's
angry about it.
I could have not one ring, but I could have, and just keep counting. Like he could literally just keep counting right now.
And it's like, I don't know. There's got to be some bit of regret there, and I don't know if he really regretted, he'd come back for cheap, but he won't.
The Dolphins wouldn't let him.
True. Yeah, no, they would be screwed. Have Steve texted you at all?
No, I say we just keep rolling and hopefully he jumps in soon. If we want, what we could do is we could just we could have him send us picks after the pod, and we could just tally up the score next week.
Yeah, we'll just do that. I'll need you to check the lines for me then.
Okay. I'm probably gonna go off camera while I do it. So just
you're good. We're gonna start week 11. We start with Thursday Night Football. This should be a banger. We got the Commanders taking on the Eagles. This one's in Philadelphia. I would imagine they're probably gonna wear all black or something. Like this is gonna be a fun game. What's the spread?
I was on Yahoo. I need to pull up FanDuel lines right now. Pulling it up.
You're good. I'm just really excited for this game because this is, if the Commanders win, they'll take a 2-game lead for the division, I think, right?
Yep. All right. Let me get back to it. Okay. We got the Eagles favored by -3.5, over under 48.5.
That's a good line because I feel like the Eagles are probably going to win this, but with that line, it makes me want to take the Commanders. And the Commanders have been good all season, so I'm going to take the Commies. I hope it's a good game. That's all I'm really rooting for, though.
You got what Scott have?
Oh, yeah, and then Scott has the under.
It's bad weather apparently tomorrow, so that's probably why he's doing that. Because I at first liked the over. Dude, here's the thing. At the beginning of the year, I told you guys I think it was going to be Philly and KC in a Super Bowl matchup from 2 years ago. People started thinking I was crazy after the first few weeks for Philly, but like they look good. Their defense is starting to figure it out. This is a true test to me, so I'm going to take the Eagles, and if they win and they cover, things are rolling.
Yeah, no, they need to win this game to take first place in the division.
Yeah.
So it's a big game. Next one, we've got the Raiders taking on the Dolphins. This one's in Miami. The Raiders are going all the way from Vegas to Miami. What's the spread here?
We got Dolphins -7, over under 44.5.
I'm so glad. I love that line. Oh, Steve, actually, while we're here, Steve's back. No, while Steve's here, we're only on our second game, Steve. So just give us your Commanders Eagles pick.
Over.
Okay, Scott's got the.
Steve, I want to help you out. Hold on, I want to help you out, Steve. It's bad weather tomorrow, just so you know.
All right, Washington plus 3.5.
All right,
I
love
just
that.
said that. That's why I was like, I'll tell Steve again.
All right,
Wait, before we
so
continue, Kev, Steve, say something bad about Jared Goff.
Dude, he looked bad, guys. He was
they still
definitely.
won though, man.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking, dude, Lions could be team of destiny. Like seriously, like
All right,
I
back
mean,
to it. Sorry, I had to.
yeah. All right, so
Um,
what do you want? Miami, Vegas?
yeah, we are on Las Vegas going to Miami.
Welcome to Miami. Dolphins -7, over under 44.5. Dude, the Raiders suck.
Scott wrote this all out of order. Scott sent this all out of order. I'm on the Dolphins. The spread, I can't believe it's not double digits. I'm all over the Dolphins in this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Dolphins also. Are they? They're out of it though, right? There's no
No,
chance.
they're not. No, I mean they could go on a run. They only have 6 losses, so and their schedule's not that crazy.
I'm
They
Yeah.
got
taking
the
the
Bills.
Dolphins.
They got the Bills once, Steve.
Did Scott have the Dolphins?
He has the over in this one.
Okay.
All right. Next game, we've got the Browns taking on the Saints. This one is in NOLA with Rizzy. What's the spread here?
Who's Rizzy?
Their head coach.
That's the interim coach.
Oh,
Oh,
that's right.
and Jameis returns to NOLA.
Yeah, Saints -1.5. Over under 44.5.
I like the Browns. Aren't they coming off the bye? Yeah, I like the Browns off the bye, even though they're on the road, and it's a Jameis return game. And Scott is also on the Browns.
Yeah, I'm on the Browns.
I'm gonna go with the over.
Damn. All right, next game. We got the Colts taking on the Jets. This one's in New York. What's the spread here, Steve?
Great day to be a Colt. Jets -3.5. Over under 43.5. Richardson returning as the starter.
Scott is on the Colts. I am on the Jets, man. I just think Anthony Richardson is booty cheeks.
As much as I agree and hate Richardson, I just think the Jets suck. So give me the Colts.
I agree with you, Kev. But what was the spread? You say 4,
3.5.
3.5. I think this is a field goal game. I'm gonna take the
Yeah,
Colts.
it's not a great spread. I just hate Anthony Richardson. I got to stay on brand. All right. Next game we got the Vikings taking on the Titans. This one is in Tennessee. What's the spread here?
I mean, he really is out of order on this one. Tennessee, no. Vikings -5.5. Over under 39.5.
I'm taking the Vikings and Scott is taking the Vikings.
Same.
Yeah, that's a B&E sweep.
There we go. All right, Packers going to Chicago to play the Bears. What's the spread here, Steve?
Pack -5.5. Over under 40.5.
Is Jordan Love back?
He's the new mayor of Chicago.
Is he playing though? Do we know?
Doesn't matter.
You're right. Give me the Packers, and Scott's
Same.
also on the Packers.
Packers.
That's a B&E sweep.
All right, next game. I wonder what we're gonna do on this one. The Jags are going to Detroit to play the Lions. What's the spread here?
Guess that spread.
11.5.
13.5.
Oh my
Lions.
Lord.
Over under 46.5.
So I'm gonna take the Jags here, and I also would sprinkle a little bit on the money line. I'm a sicko. I don't know. Weird things could happen.
Yeah, you're definitely a sicko. I'm taking the spread because that spread is retarded for NFL football. They might clear it, but yeah, that's insane. But I think the Lions could also hit the over themselves.
I was gonna say I'm taking the over in this game.
I don't see Scott's pick for this.
He's a big Lions guy.
I don't even
He's
see.
a big over guy.
He's got.
though,
Sorry,
also.
he's got lines. He's got lines. He's got lines. All right. Next game we got the Rams taking on the Patriots. What's the spread? Oh, this one's in Gillette. What's the spread here, Steve?
Rams -4.5. Over under 43.5.
Scott's got the under, and I like that pick. I could definitely see the under here, but I don't understand that line. I think the Patriots have been pretty gritty and they're at home. I like the Patriots in this, and I like them outright. After how the Rams played against Miami, that line shocks me a little bit. I think these two teams are pretty even.
No.
Give me the Pats spread at home.
The first thing I thought of was the Super Bowl, which made me want to take the under because that ugly Super Bowl that they had was so bad.
Worst
I'm just
Super
gonna
Bowl
take
in
the under.
NFL history.
I'm just taking the under out of that.
Worst Super Bowl in NFL history.
It really was.
All right. The banger we've all been waiting for. The Ravens are taking on the Steelers. This one's in Pittsburgh. A noon kickoff for this game makes me want to throw up. What's the spread here?
Ravens -3, over under 48.5.
Because this is at noon, I like the Ravens. If this was in prime time and the Steelers fans were going nuts, dude, like, give me Steelers all day long. But I like the Ravens here. And Scott, I would be shocked if he's not on the Ravens. Let me see. He's on the Ravens, of course. He is a Ravens fan.
Dude, steel curtain. Give it to me.
I hope they win. That'd be awesome.
Call me a sicko, but I'm taking the over. Never would I do that in any other year in a Steelers-Ravens game, but like Russ slings the ball and Lamar doesn't not score
Baltimore's
4 touchdowns
defense
a
is
game.
booty.
Yeah.
This actually, dude, the Steelers match up pretty good against that. That should be a great game.
Steelers should be good, but their defense has, like, how many points did they give up last week? Like, they
A
gave
lot.
up like 20. I mean, I'm just saying, like, Ravens are way better than who'd they play? The Commanders?
Yeah, they did. They let up 27 against the Commanders.
So over for me.
I was trying to get the thumb to do it again. All right.
There it is.
The next game, Seahawks take on the 49ers, an NFC West bout. This one, are the Seahawks coming off the bye? I think they are. I think the Seahawks are coming off the bye. And this one's in San Fran, but not a far travel. What's the spread here, Steve?
Frisco -6.5, over under 48.5.
I like the Seahawks here to cover that. I don't know about winning, but I like them to cover. And they're off the bye, man. I hope they win it.
Yeah, give me Seahawks to cover but lose.
Scott's on the 49ers, by the way.
I'm on the 49ers too.
All right, next game we got the Falcons taking on the Broncos. This one's in Denver at Mile High. Both teams need this win. This actually could be a sneaky, really good game. What's the spread here?
Yeah, this is going to be I think this should be a good game. But they got Denver favored -2.5, over under 44.5.
I like Denver, and Scott likes Denver.
Dude, I did too.
That altitude, dog.
I just don't trust Atlanta.
Wait, it's in Denver?
Yeah, it's in Denver.
Fuck. I'll ride with y'all.
Beanie sweep.
Yeah. All right, next we've got the Chiefs taking on the Bills in Buffalo. What is the spread? I know it because it was shocking to hear.
Bills -2.5, over under 46.5.
Always take the Chiefs when they're underdogs. Always. Give me the Chiefs. Scott's apparently retarded, and he's taking Buffalo.
Give me the Chiefs, baby, and they're also going to be in our money line parlay. I'm just telling you, it's happening.
Steve?
Yeah, I'm on the Chiefs for sure. You always
All
take
right.
bets than underdog.
Always. I saw some pretty crazy stats me and Zach talked about earlier. All right, Sunday Night Football. This should be a banger. Bengals take on the Chargers in LA, so the elements won't be a factor. We're just going to see how that Chargers defense that has only has not allowed more than 20 points all season. We'll see if that streak continues against Joe Burrow and Jamar. What's the spread here, Steve?
Chargers -1.5, over under 47.5.
Bengals.
I'm taking Bengals also.
I'm taking
Scott's
the
on
Bengals.
Bengals too. That line is crazy. Huh.
I love that this is like somewhat the season for both teams. Obviously, they're not both dead, but it's like they both need to win this game.
Yeah, I don't know about the Chargers. The Chargers can afford this loss. The Bengals cannot. You know,
Yeah. Well,
especially after
what are the Chargers? 6-4.
they're sitting pretty. They're in a playoff spot right now if the season ended.
I know, but with how, like if they lose this game, they're not in a playoff spot.
Yeah, this could be a tiebreaker spot. Yeah, this could be a tiebreaker spot. But
Bengals
I don't
need
know.
this because if they win, like they're
Yeah,
competing against the Chargers for a playoff spot.
but if the Bengals lose this, it looks really. I mean,
Yeah,
they
it's
have to play
probably over.
They have to play the Steelers twice still. So like they're not winning both of those. You know, so that's game over. All right. And the last game of the week, and for the love of Christ and for the love that all that is holy. How are the Cowboys in primetime when we can flex? How? This is insane.
Chiefs-Bills should be Monday Night Football.
This is insane. We had time to do this. We've known the Cowboys are bad since week fucking 1. So thanks, Monday Night Football, you bunch of fucking losers. Texans take on the Cowboys. Awesome. Yay. Can't wait to watch this. Shit. All right, what's the spread, Steve?
Texans -7.5. Over under 42.5.
That's a big spread. And give me the Texans to cover.
I'm Texans for sure.
Scott Smart, he took the under.
That's tempting, but I would have taken the under if it was daylight with that horrible sunlight that goes in there and no one catches the ball. But I'm gonna take the Texans, man. Like, who doesn't want to watch Cooper Rush and Zeke Elliott play football?
Also, Nico Collins should be back.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big bump. I did not know that. That's great. It's great news.
It's I think this is probably a double-digit dub for the Texans.
It's a get-right game.
They need it.
There's a couple lines this week that I'm shocked by. All right. Time for our locks of the week and moneyline parlays. I'm just going to do it. Give me the Bengals for my lock of the week. That's the biggest no-brainer I've ever seen. Bengals +1.
I'm taking Pittsburgh +3.
I like that, Steve.
I want more investment in this game. So
it was +3?
+3.
I'm sharing Scott's because I've already seen it, but I just feel like the Packers -5.5 is just an absolute no-brainer.
Who are they playing again?
The Bears.
The Bears.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't know. Jordan Love kind of scares me a little bit right now.
But like Malik Willis has almost like stepped in and not changed anything from Jordan Love. Like Matt LaFleur is just one hell of a QB coach, so it's like there's just no chance that they're losing or that they're gonna not win by at least a touchdown, in my opinion.
That Packers defense is going to be fucking feasting after what they saw on film last week too. I didn't even think about that because they've got some dogs.
Weren't they on a bye? Packers had a bye last week, so Josh Jacobs is gonna be fresh.
Yeah, you're right, man. That's a good bet. That's a good bet. You're convincing me.
That's good.
All right. Time for the moneyline parlay. I couldn't confirm this with Scott. Did we win it last week or the week before?
We didn't win last week.
Okay, so the week before
we lost on Thursday night, didn't we?
I don't know, but we're 4-6 on our moneyline parlays, which is pretty impressive. I don't have all the stats that Scott could give you, but
I think he said we're up +700 on the year.
Yeah.
Like that.
Or I don't know if that was is that what our year total was. Anyways, we're still hot, fellas. Fellow listeners, continue to ride. Scott has the Dolphins a part of the moneyline parlay. I won't complain about that. If they can't beat the Raiders, yikes. I'm gonna go ahead and roll with the Texans.
Dolphins. Zach said Chiefs. Dude, I kind of want to get wild with this and go Steelers.
Dude. Steelers? You really are that confident, Steve? Come on, man. Like,
Steve,
there's a lot of other
games.
MVP. There's a lot of other games out there. Please, rethink this, man. Like, there's just so many other. If this week didn't have so many other blowout options that you could pick from,
trust your gut. Don't.
Yeah, fuck you. I'm going Steelers, baby. I'm
This is
feeling
gonna be
good.
so juicy.
What are the odds?
I thought it'd be better. It's plus 755.
Well, Scott and Kev's are both like 6 and 7 point favorites. We had to
True.
juice it.
Yeah, so minus 450, minus 335, plus 152, and plus 114.
Let's go, baby.
It's
Wow.
gonna hit. It's gonna hit.
It's
All
Rusty
right.
time.
You guys got any hot takes or bold predictions? Steve, you weren't here for a lot of this, so if there's anything you wanted to talk about.
No, sorry about that, but I gotta go clean up some puke.
All right.
Bye.
Sounds good. That's being the ball talk.